Oh boy. This is going to be Grand Central, isn't it? It's Club Appreciation Day, and that means is that all these people are like, oh, I can get extra master points if I play today, so we'll have a lot of activity today when you give extra master points. The beloved master point.
I have, what do we have, like a quarter of one or something like that?
Oh,
0.25.
congratulations, you got to start somewhere. Aha. That's good. At least it shows you're relevant now, doesn't it?
It was such a surprise and so good we never went back. Yeah, we went, okay, we're bad now.
Yeah, I had this one game with my buddy, and that was it. I beat him every time. And finally he beat me. He says, I'll never play again.
I know.
I want to be on the record as having won.
All the tables and came out ahead. I don't know how that happened. It was just amazing. I think that, whatever. It didn't have anything to do with skill.
Well, just kind of, when people get into this, I mean, it gets in your blood, and so what happens, you play at the local clubs, and you say, now I'm getting better. And then what happens a little bit later, you start, I'll go play in the sectional tournaments, in the ones that would be in the North Bay, or maybe all over the Bay Area. And then, I'll play in the regional tournaments, which come about once every 3 months here or Sacramento. And this is for the entire district. And you get more points there. And then there's the nationals. Some of them are on the East Coast, some are on the West Coast. There are about 3 or 4 of those a year. And this is like Disneyland for adults. In these grand ballrooms where there's 500 tables. And that's just in one of the rooms. And they have lots of different things going on. And so the people go, they spend money to travel, and they get the hotels, and sometimes they pay for a hired gun, their paladin, to play with them to get more master points. And if you haven't done that and you get through a day and it's like, we made half a master point today, and that was about $200 or $300 for your expenses that day. And so you start to measure, if you don't make like a master point for every $100, then I should be doing better. So it gets kind of fun and competitive. So it's real interesting when people go after the master points.
You do best if you go to the big conventions because there are more people there. So there's more people who in your division.
In your division, that's right.
Yeah, if you're a beginner.
Yes.
You can do
So they have like a 49 game, 0 to 49 master points, and a 99, 0 to 99, 199, 299.
And you're, okay-ish.
Yeah.
You might be really.
Yeah, you don't have to play against people with thousands of master points. They can stay in that other big grand ballroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you need different color points.
You do. If you want to get to be a life master, then you need to have different pigmented points.
To go to Tennessee and
Yeah, you need black points, but you'll have enough black points. That's just here at the club or whatever. The silver points you can make when you go at the sectional silver. And to get the red points, those are at regionals. You can also get them at the nationals. And then the gold points, you can get those at the regional or the nationals also. So you have to play some at the regionals, some at the sectionals, and then some just the black.
I have no idea.
So are we ready to begin?
I have a quick question.
Please.
When the beginning sessions are over,
Yes.
soon after, will there be an intermediate?
Somewhat soon. Yes, I hope soon. And I might need a couple of weeks or so to get a breath of fresh air. But yeah, we'll do that. Yes, the idea is that we'd love to have people continue on. It's interesting. Some people would like to take the newcomer lessons 4, 5, 10 times. And that's okay. I mean, it's not bad. Some people, I just like the newcomer lessons. And some want to go on to then the intermediate, novice intermediate, shall we call it. And so they will then go to that lesson because they want to eventually start either playing locally with their friends or maybe come into the club and say, I want to go ahead and start, giving it a try. So yes, we will have some intermediate lessons.
And my other question is, this is just my own personal taste. I would like to mix around and play with different people during the lessons.
That's
I have a
beautiful.
feeling that people don't want to do that.
Well,
Remember when you said that
yeah.
during your tournaments or something,
Yeah.
people get here early so they can face the same direction and send them.
Sure. Just as you are, let me cover on this note. If you look right here at your table, move that bidding box. Oh, Sue and Carol, they're 0 to 500, but they want to sit at this table. And I'd like to have people sitting north-south. Over here,
They did.
I want some non-life masters. How about over here?
That's, what's his name?
Dave Becker, I'm going to try to get him a spot because he has mobility problems.
Oh, he just called like twice.
Exactly, but I'm going to try to get him a spot.
People really get locked in.
But when did that get written?
I put that out this morning because I'm directing today.
Oh, so someone called you and said,
Yeah, Alex always sits here. She's fast, plays with Richard. Connie and Larry are looking for a table. I said, fine. And Joe Kushner, I see a note was out for him, and I just called Cyrus this morning. He'll play with them. Great. They didn't used to play with. These people are oftentimes, they play at these tables. Loretta, she has over 10,000 masters, but she asked for table 8 to be under the fan. So anyway, yes, this is the director's job. I'm sort of like, this is, if you will, square dance. I tell people when to move, and I try to get them happy. And so there's some choreography, yes. Okay, anyway, I should start.
But there was one point that was only half covered there, was that, yes, you do need to move around, but once you find somebody that you fit with, it's good to stay with them as your partner because you learn how they bid, you understand it. So when you hear a certain thing, you know
What they mean.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing. But that almost doesn't seem fair in a way.
No, it is fair, and it's true. I mean, some people will play years and years and years together, and then after 10 years, they're like, we had a falling out, so
A lot of people that I know have multiple partners. Like they'll play.
that's normally what you do. You will normally have multiple partners, yes.
She plays with her friends.
But it's interesting because they get out their little calendars and they'll say, well, I can play with you the third Tuesday because I have and Sue would be this way, right? And da-da-da. And so they have certain days they play with certain people. And if one person goes on vacation, well, I'm open. I'm a free agent for some, a week or a month. Yes. Okay, we need to get started. Okay, welcome, Bridge friends. And so we are now on lesson number 4 on minor suit opening bids. Now, you may remember when we talked about major suit opening bids, is that back about 50, 60 years ago, the in vogue treatment became opening a 5-card major. In England, before that, the A-call system, they opened with a 4-card major and still do today. They're Australia and some places like that. But, we're independent, and this system turned out much better to have 5-card majors, and so it has some benefits, obviously, to have change. But then when it comes to where you don't have a 5-card major, now we have the situation where we're going to have to open something else. And that's what we're going to talk about today when we do not have a 5-card or longer major suit. So one of the things that I see beginners oftentimes do is they get in a situation where they're just happy to bid the minors. And you have to open the minor, but that doesn't mean you want to stay in the minor. The thing that we want to do is we want to look for a 4-4 fit with our partner. So even though we open with a minor, if we have a 4-card major, we're hoping that we can get this 4-4 fit. Or maybe partners even got 5, we don't know. But the idea is when we open a minor, we are still going to look for a major. I see so often where people begin and they'll open one diamond with maybe 3 or 4, which is perfect. That's what you want to do. But you as the responder, when you've got 4, you don't want to just bid 2 diamonds. You would prefer to be look for a major if you have hearts or spades. You would bid 1 heart, 1 spade. Or if you maybe have 4 diamonds, but you have a relatively flat hand, no shortness, you might just want to bid 1 no trump because you get twice the points. We'll talk about that. So we don't really want to end up in a minor, even though we're starting in a minor. And some bridge teachers, they have these little jokes. They say, well, you can do it once a year, but this is October, so if you've already done it once, you shouldn't be doing it again in the year. So you don't want to make a regular habit of it, okay? Or some people say, well, if you want to open with a minor, that's okay. But if you're going to play in a minor game, then you need a note from your mother. In other words, you should be playing in 3 no trump oftentimes. And we'll speak a little bit about that. Okay, so first off, we mentioned about where you can go ahead and get the online lessons at Bridge Hands, that website. And this is lesson 4 of 6. And we've got some more things coming in the future where we're going to get into like takeout doubles and preamps and a little bit about the Stamen response after one no trump. So we got a lot of fun things coming in competitive bidding. And I'd like to ask you, do you have any new expectations for today or the rest of the class? We talked before about where you're at on your skill level, and we hear that some people might be interested in a intermediate lesson, so stay tuned, more on that later. Anything else, or shall I continue? Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so first of all, you remember 2 weeks ago when we had our last session about high card points. Remember that? Do we know what the high card point is? Can somebody tell me? What's the numbers associated with high card points? 4, 3, 2, 1. What does that mean? Ace, king, queen, and hopefully jack may be worth 1. Great. Okay, and promotion. We promote a suit. What does that mean? What are we doing there to get extra tricks?
Setting it up so that it's a valuable suit.
Setting up a longer suit.
Creating a void.
Yeah, okay, so we set up a long suit that is maybe more than 4, so we can develop extra tricks in that suit. Maybe it's trump, maybe you're no trump, and maybe you're doing it just in a long minor suit. Okay, good. Roughing and trumping, what's that all about? When we're in a suit contract, yes?
Roughing is when you don't have a suit and you trump.
Don't have a suit, usually it's in the dummy is where we do this, although it could be back and forth. And so you can now play a trump, and rather than have a loser in your declare hand, usually, we can now use the dummy shortness, a singleton, a void. Eventually they run out of a suit. Maybe they've got 3, but you've got ace, king, and another, and the dummy's got 2. Sometimes it can work that way. Okay. How about finessing? What is the finesse?
Gambling.
It's gambling. No, it's a little more than that. You do it with finesse.
Trying to pull a card out of somebody's.
You're trying to pull a card out of the opponent's hands. So can you give me an example?
Yes, because if you have, like, for instance, the ace, queen.
Ace and a queen.
Don't know where the king is.
Don't know where the king
That's
is.
the dummy's hand. You might try to pull that out so that you will only lose, so that you'll maximize the amount of tricks that you can take.
Okay, so if we have an ace and a queen you're talking about, and down here on the other hand, let's say that we've got a 9, a 7, and a 2.
Yeah.
And we're in this hand, in the south, and we're leading, let's say, the 2. Okay. And we're not sure what's over here, are we?
No, we don't know yet.
It's a 50-50 chance. I guess we would like the king to be over here, wouldn't it?
Like that.
So if the king was over here, if they play the king, we win the ace. But if they don't play the king, let's say it's a low card, they play, then we will go to the queen.
Yeah.
And we get 1 trick, we get 2 tricks, or maybe more. This might be ace, queen, jack, x, x. So we may get all 5 tricks doing this type of a strategy if we had that set up. Okay? Does that make sense? So that would be a finesse. And what's a game contract? We like to have a game contract. Do we get some benefit of that? A game? Make a game?
Extra points.
Extra points. We talked about in duplicate, you get 300 points for a non-vulnerable game in addition to your trick score, and you get 500 points if a vulnerable game, whatever that's about. But we get a lot of extra points. Even if you're playing rubber bridge, you can go ahead and get a game, and when you get 2 games in a row, well, then you can get 700 points there. Okay, so how many high card points does it take to make a game in 3 no trump or 4 of a major? 25 or 26. Good, excellent, okay. Not all 25-point hands are the same, are they? As I've talked about, if you've got jack third, jack and 2 others, that's probably not a great suit unless your partner's got some good honors in that suit. Okay, and the suit rank, does this mean anything? CDHS? Lowest to highest. And we bid in a suit. If we open a club, our partner or an opponent could bid 1 diamond. But if we opened a heart, the opponents can't, and our partner, they can't bid 1 club or 1 diamond, can they? They have to go to the 2 level, up the bidding ladder, as we say. So doesn't that right off the bat kind of like smell like you'd rather open it heart or spade so they can't like bid one club or one diamond? Or if you open one club, your left-hand opponent could overcall as little as one diamond, one heart, or one spade. So that's another benefit of opening with that 5-card major, isn't it? And if we open one no trump, they can't even come in at the one level at all, or our partner. Okay? Opening one no trump, how many points do we like to have for opening one no trump? 16 to 18 is what the book says, and everybody in this room that's going to be playing today will either be 15 to 17, or even sometimes some people use less. We know that it takes 25 points or 26 to make a 3 no trump game. If I open 15 to 17, 16 on average, and you've got 9 or 10, you can invite or you can go to game if you have extras, right? Because that's 25 points. Even 15 and 10 is 25. I think we would take a chance because we like those bonus points, don't we? Okay? As a responder, remember this pig? If we have 0 to 7 points, our partner can only have 17 at maximum. If we have 0 to 7, we pass, generally speaking. If we have 8 or 9, since our partner has 15 to 17, we can invite. And if we have 10 or more, we go to game. Now, that's true with one no trump. But when we open in one of a major, as we saw, the points are different. And that is because the opener can be 12 to 21 points. You know, it's not a 3-point range, 15 to 17. It's a 9-point range. We talked about promotion, roughing in the short suit. We talked about the finessing, 3 no trump, or 4 of a major is certainly better than 5 clubs or 5 diamonds because it requires an extra trick. And so a minor suit game, we normally have to have 29 points, an extra ace, right? Extra ace, extra 4 points. Okay? And if you want to slam 12 out of 13, which is maybe a little piggy in itself, but you want those bonus points because now you can get, and not only that 300 or 500, 750 or 1,000 additionally to your game bonus. Wow, that's nice. And no trump, we talked about a range, and we talked about this 0 to 8, 8 to 9, and so on. Okay, with the golden fit, that's what we really love to have. We like to start off with 1 heart, 1 spade. If we have a 5-card major, 12 points to 21 points, great. And our partner, the responder, if they have a 3-card or longer match in our major suit, then they will support it. If they have 6 to 9 points, now it's not the range of, remember we talked on the no trump, it was a different range. As a responder, since there's this big range for the opener in a suit contract, as long as we've got 6 points, we can go ahead and bid 2 spades if it was 1 spade. 1 heart, 2 hearts. 6 to 9 points. But if you have no fit with your partner, then you can go 1 heart and go to 1 no trump if you don't have 3 in the heart suit. Or remember, we can respond with 4 in the spade suit if we had 4 spades, because our partner still might have 4 spades. So it would go 1 heart, 1 no trump if we do not have 3 hearts and we do not have 4 spades. And how do we invite? If we have that 10 to a bad 12 points, we do a jump 1 level. Rather than 1 spade, 2 spades, we go 1 spade, 3 spades, you'll recall. This will come into play in a similar way with our minor suit openings. Okay, so partner opens 1 heart, 1 spade. Responder has 3 in a major, and if you have a short side suit, this is where you were talking about, Pete, you get some extra points for shortness because you can now do roughing or trumping, whatever you like to call it. Some people say, hit it, partner, meaning play a trump on my loser. Win the trick in the dummy. Okay, so that's where we get extras when we talked about if you have a void, well, if your partner's got, like, say, jack 3 times and you've got a void, that's like you may not lose any tricks in that side suit with jack 3 times because now you can maybe rough it 3 times. So that would be worth at least 3 points. If you have a singleton, might be worth 2 points, depending upon if you had a 3rd or 4th trump, and a doubleton, maybe just give yourself an extra point. That means 2 in the suit. Okay, no 5-card, spade suit, or heart suit. Unhappy. We love to open with the 5-card major. As we talked about, the opponents can't compete. we're off to get a game without having to go to the 5 level and 29 points. You know, are we going to be in a 3 no trump contract? But if we don't have that, we have to. Yet, don't forget that if you have 15 to 17 point in a balanced hand, what are we going to open? We're not going to open 1 club or 1 diamond. We're going to open, let's hear you say it, 1 no trump. Thank you. Don't forget that. It's easy to say, oh, I don't have a 5-card major. Look at your points, though, because if you have 15 to 17, you want to go ahead and open it. And if you do have 20 to 21, if you're lucky to have half the points in the 40-point deck, you can open 2 no trump. And if your partner's got, 5 points, 6 points, they should be getting you to game. 3 no trump, or else we'll talk later about how you can find a major fit here. We always love to find that major fit. Okay, you have less than 22 points, or else you're going to open this artificial 2 clubs. We'll speak about that at the end of the course. But that's the ubiquitous catch-all 2 club bid. Says I have 22 or more. I'll tell you about my suit later. Right now, this is a forcing artificial bid 2 club opener. Okay, since we don't have any of those, so now we have 12 to 21 points, and I guess we may not have a balanced hand or somewhat balanced hand. We'll just open 1 club or 1 diamond. We open the longer of the 2, and some people get all kind of hung up on all the details, if they're both 4 or if they're both 3 or things like that. Just for sake of where we're at now, just open the longer of your minor suits. Are you okay with that concept? Longer of the minor suits. If you don't have a 4 5-card major, and if you don't have a 1 no trump or 2 no trump opener. Okay, so 0 to 5 points. What do? Just like the major, we pass. Now we talked about with 1 no trump openers, 0 to 7 points. That's only because we know it's 15 to 17. But here, the partner, when they open 1 club, how many points is their range? I mentioned a moment ago. How many high card points could they have? As low as 12 and as high as 21. So if we have less than 6, there's no reason to really bid. So we would pass with 0 to 5. Okay, with 6 points or more, what's our first obligation? Finding a 4-4 major suit fit. That's what bridge is all about, is finding a golden fit, a fit in a major. So obviously, we need some kind of a method we're going to use to do this. So when we have 4 cards in a major suit as a responder, then now we need some way to discover if partner has 4 cards in the major as well. The next 2 slides, I've got about 10 or 11 different permutations on different things can be. And you're like, oh gosh, there's so many rules here. Well, just for a moment, let's just say we are clever people like the bridge players that invented the different treatments and see if it makes sense. So don't try to memorize it. Just kind of relax for a little bit as I go through these next 2 slides. Get a breath, shake it out, and as we go through that, just see if it makes sense. Now, the idea is we want to find a major suit fit.